Level 1, the private. You step off the bus at Fort Moore, Georgia. At 2 a.m., a drill sergeant is already screaming before your feet touch the ground. You don't know where to stand, where to look, or what to do. 20 minutes earlier, you were eating a candy bar, savoring the last quiet moment you would have for the next 10 weeks. That moment is gone. A man in a round brown hat, voice like a circular saw, stands 3 inches from your face, demanding why you're smiling. You aren't smiling, your face is simply reacting to the shock. He doesn't care. Drop and push. You do push-ups on cold asphalt, in the dark, while dozens of strangers do the same beside you. They take everything: your phone, wallet, watch, civilian clothes, every item that tied you to your old life. They shave your head, issue an ill-fitting uniform and stiff boots, and assign you a bunk in an open bay. 50 other confused and terrified recruits. Nobody sleeps that night. Basic combat training lasts 10 weeks. You wake at 4:30 a.m. and run. You do endless push-ups, sit-ups, and flutter kicks until your muscles scream. You learn to march as one body, fire an M for carbine, navigate woods with only a map and compass, and apply first aid including tourniquets on bleeding limbs. The drill sergeants are not your friends. They are the wall you crash into every time you think you've figured something out. A wrinkled sheet, a speck of dust, or an empty canteen earns collective punishment. One person's mistake means everyone suffers. You learn to hate the soldier who can't make his bunk correctly, then learn to help him, because the cost of hate is higher than the effort of helping. That lesson is never explained. You either figure it out or wash out. Some quit early. They sit in a holding area for weeks waiting for paperwork. You consider quitting on day 4, and again on day 12. You stain not because you're brave, but because quitting feels worse than continuing. On graduation day, they call you a soldier for the first time. Your family watches from the bleachers as your mother cries. You stand at attention beside people who once hated each other and now would die for one another. You are a private in the United States Army, earning $24,000 a year. You own nothing and know almost nothing, but you survived. That counts for something. Level 2, the specialist. 2 years in, you've completed advanced individual training and learned your military occupational specialty. You're now at your first duty station, and the Army feels both better and worse than basic training. Better because no one screams at you constantly. Worse because the crushing boredom was never mentioned in the brochures. As a Specialist E4, you wear a shield on your chest but have zero authority. You're the most common rank in the Army, the backbone of the workforce, and the punchline of every joke. Specialists are famous for 2 things: getting the real work done and finding creative ways to avoid it. You've mastered looking busy. You know the perfect supply closet to hide in during Motor Pool Monday and how to stretch a 30-minute task into an entire afternoon. You have a 6th sense for when the first sergeant is hunting for bodies. Yet you still do the work. Midnight guard duty, endless inventory of unused equipment, cleaning already clean weapons, sitting through pointless PowerPoint briefs, and standing in formation in the rain for information that could have been a text message. Hurry up and wait becomes the defining rhythm of your career. You live in the Barak small rooms with cinder block walls and tile floors. NCOs inspect regularly and always find something wrong. You eat free but bland food at the DFAC. On weekends, you drink too much at nearby bars filled with the same military stories. Some friends marry at 19 or 20, after knowing someone for 2 months just to escape the barracks and collect housing allowance. You watch half of those marriages collapse within a year. Level 3, the sergeant. You face a promotion board in your dress uniform. Senior NCOs grill you on regulations, history, and your job. You recite memorized answers and pass. Overnight, you pin on 3 chevrons and become responsible for other human beings. In a very real, legal, career-ending way. As a sergeant, you lead a team of 4 soldiers. Their actions, good or bad, reflect on you 24/7. A DUI at 2 a.m., a failed PT test, or a missed formation means your phone rings and your record takes the hit. At 23 years old, you become counselor, mentor, disciplinarian, and babysitter with almost no training. You drown in paperwork, counseling statements, evaluations, training schedules, and risk assessments for even simple activities. The real job of a sergeant isn't combat or tactics, it's managing people who resist being managed, maintaining equipment that breaks constantly, and surviving endless meetings that should have been emails. You love the responsibility and hate it in equal measure. Level 4, the Staff Sergeant. Now an E6, with 7 to 10 years of service, you've deployed at least once, be to Afghanistan, Iraq, or a long rotation elsewhere. You've lived in uncomfortable or miserable conditions and seen things that changed you. You may have heard combat, smelled it, or felt explosions rattle your teeth. You've likely lost someone and don't talk about it much. You now lead a squad of 8 to 12 soldiers. You translate guidance into executable tasks, run ranges, plan training, counsel your team leaders. You enforce standards on everything from haircuts to weapons maintenance. Some soldiers think you're too hard, others think you're fair. If you understand that the standards come from far above you, your body is paying the price. Knees ache from rucking, your back hurts from years of heavy loads, and constant tinnitus hums in your ears. In your late 20s or early 30s, you already move like someone older. You take ibuprofen and keep going. The VA will eventually recognize some of this damage. Level 5, the Sergeant First Class. As an E7, you become a platoon sergeant for 30 to 40 soldiers. You work beside a lieutenant, usually a college graduate with far less experience. The relationship between platoon sergeant and platoon leader is critical. Good lieutenants listen, bad ones get people hurt. You are the bridge between the officer world and the enlisted world. Officers plan and write orders. You turn those orders into reality with real people and real constraints the paperwork never considered. You manage training, maintenance, medical readiness, and every personnel issue. You've been passed over for promotion before, watched good friends hit a ceiling at E6. You've learned that talent matters, but politics matters too. Level 6, the First Sergeant. They call you top. As the senior enlisted leader of a company of 100 to 200 soldiers, every problem lands on your desk first. Arrests, financial crises, depression, failed drug tests, you handle them all. You work with a young captain who makes the decisions while you ensure they actually happen. You know intimate details about your soldiers that even their parents don't, who's struggling with money, divorce, drinking, or darker thoughts. You've attended too many memorial ceremonies, folded too many flags, and sat with families as their worlds collapsed. Those names stay with you. Level 7, the Sergeant Major. In E9, you serve as the senior enlisted advisor at battalion level or higher. You counsel colonels and generals on everything affecting enlisted soldiers, which is effectively everything in the Army. You represent the voice of the 82% of the force who actually make it run. You push back when policies look good on paper, but would destroy morale or ignore human limits. You've served over 20 years. Your body carries the damage. Multiple surgeries, worn joints, and constant tinnitus. You've spent years away from family. Your marriage may have survived or not. Your children grew up with an often absent parent. You attend the Sergeant Major Academy, where for the first time in decades, you sit in a classroom and see how all the pieces of your education finally connect. Level 8, the Second Lieutenant. You took a different path West Point, ROTC, or OCS, after enlisting. Now a second lieutenant with a gold bar. You command a platoon of 30 to 40 soldiers. Your platoon sergeant has more experience than you have, years alive. The smartest move is to listen and admit what you don't know. The worst mistake is acting like your degree and commission equal competence. You plan operations, write orders, lead PT, and stand in front of soldiers who are older, more experienced, and more capable than you. Some respect the rank immediately. Others wait to see if you'll earn it. Competence comes slowly through time and repeated failure. Level 9, the Colonel. After more than 20 years as an officer, you command a brigade of 3,000 to 5,000 soldiers. You've progressed through every level: platoon leader, company commander, staff officer, battalion commander. Each step was competitive. Your days are filled with back-to-back meetings, readiness reports, personnel issues, and high-level problems like serious incidents or budget cuts. You brief generals, testify before boards, and represent the Army at public events. At night, the weight of command follows you home, making the shift back to spouse and parent increasingly difficult. Level 10, the General. With 25 to 30 years of service, you wear 1 to 4 stars. Only 302 general officers exist in the entire Army at any time, fewer than 0.5% of commissioned officers. You make decisions that send soldiers into harm's way, weighing risk to force against risk to mission. You've attended dignified transfers at Dover, watching flag-draped caskets and grieving families. You brief the Secretary of Defense and the President. Politics, Congress, media, and international relations consume your time. Your family has paid a heavy price, missed birthdays, anniversaries, and childhood milestones. You retire after a formal ceremony on the parade field. Soldiers march, a band plays, and you receive a final salute. Then the phone stops ringing. The world you knew for 3 decades closes behind you, and you step into a quieter life. You're not sure how to live. Somewhere right now, an 18-year-old sits in a recruiter's office, nervous but excited. He'll sign the papers, ship to basic, and step off that same bus at 2 a.m., a drill sergeant will start screaming, and his old life will end. The cycle continues. You always figure it out.